Thoughts and emotions often come so close together and are so similar. How do we tell them apart? How do we know which is which? And why do we care? Hi, I'm Makove. I'm the mom mentor, and I'm here to bring peace and hope to your life, mothering, and relationships. Thoughts and emotions, it can be tricky things. What do we do with them? How do we know which is which? Why do we care? Well, we care because we need to do different things with thoughts and emotions. So we need to be able to tell which is which. So it might sound incredibly obvious, but you think thoughts and you feel emotions. So it might seem incredibly obvious. You think thoughts, you feel emotions, and we need to submit both to Christ. However, even though it seems really obvious, it sometimes takes us a little digging into to like, am I thinking that or am I feeling that? So let's dive into that a little bit. You think thoughts. And I have another video that I will do on how to know if the thought is yours or not, because that's a big part of this. But first of all, just a thought is something you think. I thought about going to the store. I thought of that friend today. I think this is a lousy situation. All thoughts. You're thinking them with your logical mind. They're not always logical thoughts, but you're thinking them. And then your emotions, you feel. You feel lonely. You feel upset. You feel disappointed. You feel joyful. You feel excited. You're feeling those things and you feel them in your body. And they're tied to your thoughts. Because if you're feeling excited, you are probably thinking thoughts of, I'm so looking forward to seeing my friend. I'm so looking forward to this vacation. So there's thoughts that go with them, and that's how they kind of get intermeshed and kind of hard to tell what is what. But we are told to take our thoughts captive. We're not told to take our emotions captive. We're told to take our thoughts captive. So recognizing that it's a thought, then we can take it captive and figure out what to do with it. Is it a good thought? Is it a thought that's helping us be the person we want to be? Or is it a thought that's taking us away from the person we want to be? And that's where we need to take that thought captive and look at it and decide, is this the thought we're going to keep? Is this a thought we're going to get rid of? Is this a thought we're going to make part of our life? Does it represent who we are? Or is it a thought that we can just get rid of and be done with? But they're things that we're thinking. When we're feeling things, we can maybe take an emotion captive too. But I think the traditional mindset of taking a thought captive is we're taking it captive and banishing it, I think is what comes to mind for most people. I think we're going to take that thought captive and we're going to banish it and we're not going to think it anymore. With an emotion, emotions are involuntary. And the thoughts that we think, again, we take those captive and decide what to do with them. But your emotions are like another sense. You can't help what your eyes see if that's what you're looking at. You can't help what you hear if you're surrounded by a sound. It's just a sense. And so your feelings, what you choose to do with what you feel, totally responsible for. But the feelings that come up just need to be noticed and acknowledged. So you can see what they're saying and then decide what to do. So I want to take them captive in a sense of capturing them so that we can look at them and explore what they are and where they're coming from. But we don't want to capture them and banish them. That's not healthy. Emotions have messages for us, and God's messages never return void. So if He sends an emotion, it has a message for you, and you just throw it away, like, oh, I see that emotion, I don't want it, then it just has to keep coming back because you didn't get the message that you needed from that emotion. So We don't want to take it captive in that sense of I've captured you so I can throw you away. No, we're maybe entertaining, inviting it close. Be like, why am I angry? Am I angry because something is wrong and something needs to be done about it? Was I disrespected? Was I mistreated? Am I being prideful? Am I being selfish? There's a message there, and depending on the message, then determines what you are going to do. But if you don't listen to the message, you're not going to know what to do. So that's why it's important to separate, is this something I'm feeling? So I can dig in and find the message in it. Or is it something I'm thinking and I need to look at the thought and see if it's accurate and true? And so there's going to be thoughts that come out of the emotions. Once we sit and listen to them, what's that message? What's the thought that comes with that? So if you're angry and it's because you feel unheard, you have that, I feel unheard, but now you can have thoughts about that. Did I communicate clearly? Was I clear on what I wanted from the conversation? Was the other person, was it a bad time? And so you can evaluate all those things. Was the other person not in a place to listen? Is the other person, like, overall maturity wise and whatever, just not in a place to listen? And look at those kinds of things once you have the message from the emotion. And again, you could be angry, and when you stop and look at it, the reality could be like, oh, I was being totally selfish here. That was a completely unrealistic expectation, and I was just being completely selfish. Well, there's something to do with that too. You can repent, you can apologize if you need to, and you can move on and see, well, why was I feeling selfish? Was there a need that wasn't being met? Was I just plain and simple being selfish? But you'll have more information to make better decisions if you'll pay attention to those emotions. And a lot of times the emotions are probably behind the thoughts. And I think it can go both ways, because people will tell you change your thoughts will change how you feel, which is true in the conscience. So if you're kind of having a down day, you can choose to focus on things you're thankful for and grateful for, and you can shift that and you can think yourself to a better mood. But I think the underlying more subconscious emotions, the ones that we've been pushing the messages away, don't get changed just by changing our thoughts. We need to listen to that message they're trying to bring to heal it at a deeper level, rather than just trying to change our thinking, which is flowing out of, Jesus says, out of the heart, the mouth speaks. So it's out of the heart and those emotions that the thoughts are coming. So I like to go into what's happening in the heart. What are those emotions and those messages that have been being ignored, maybe? Because then that creates a different place for thoughts to come out of. So different thoughts are going to flow from a healed heart than from a wounded heart. So understanding if it's a thought or if it's an emotion brings another level of information for decision making. And then once we have that information, we bring that before the Lord and submit that to Christ. Okay, what's the right decision to make here? What's the good decision to make here with this information that I have? So I hope you can understand the difference between thoughts and emotions, and why understanding that difference is helpful to us in making better decisions. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel so that you get the next video that's coming out, and remember that your healing heals generations.